Hello. Making a Papa Dog video. Yes, Papa Dog, he just did a spa treatment in which he got a massage with sodium bentonite clay that I put on all of his herniations. He has a couple of herniations. They're kind of like lumps under the skin, and I don't want to have that examined, because what happens is, if you take even a biopsy from a lump, and if that happens to be something that grows out of control, as in the C word, I don't like to say it, then you initiated a process where the main tumor sends out a signal to the whole body that wakes up dormant C-word cells. And then they start growing and they start to attract blood vessels, little capillaries, to its spot and to feed itself with, So, yeah, and when you eat sugar, then that feeds that very, very much. So that's why you don't want to eat refined sugar. You want to eat the sugar that is complex and that comes with the whole plant essence, and completely unfiltered, unrefined. So you eat a blackberry from your blackberry brush. That's the sugar you want to put into your body, not from candy or other things. So, and we're all addicted to it, I know, and I'm not the perfect role model for this, but the message is still standing. It's still the truth. So we need to feed ourselves with whole sugar. This is extremely important, right? Papa Dog, yes, he knows that. It is. That is the truth. Yes, Papa Dog. Yeah, he is gorgeous. Oh, he is so gorgeous. He has big biceps, real big muscles. So gorgeous and so powerful. I always say to him, he is an infinitely powerful crystal cola healer. And I say crystal cola because I like that name of the crystal called crystal cola. So I renamed it to Krista, like the name Krista, like my aunt Krista and cola, like Coca-Cola, Krista Cola. I just love it. I just love it. Sounds also a little bit like Nicola, but Krista Cola is even better. That would be also an amazing name for a girl. Krista Cola, in one word. My infinitely powerful crystal cola healer is this. That is what the Papa Dog is. He is a magician. He is an orange god. And he is the son of the infinite cosmos. That is the truth. Yes, that is the truth. It was really hot today. It was so hot today I couldn't even make a video first. And then Paul turned the sprinklers on the roof. And within 5 minutes, the temperature went way, way, way down. I didn't wear socks. I have a swimming pants on and a real lightweight t-shirt. And after he turned the sprinklers on, I actually had to put socks on. That's how much it reduced the temperature in the house, just from turning the sprinklers on the roof on. And he has a whole lot of sprinklers on the roof now. So I recommend you to everyone who is out there in the fire regions, please install a sprinkler system on your roofs. Okay, this is very important, And if you can't do that, then you can hire someone to do it. You can hire a handyman, or a contractor to come and do this for you. So it's very low tech. It's not that high tech to do. You just get good garden hoses. You get garden hose splitters. You get sprinklers that you hook onto the garden hoses, and Paul got all kinds of different sprinklers and trying all different sprinklers out, different garden hoses and so on. It's a whole science of sprinkler systems. So I wanted to show you my Seppel. My Seppel is coming along, but he is not finished. So I still have to do some more work on this. And how do I do this? I'm gonna move this up here. Move this up all the way, and then I can move this down here. And I can move this down a little bit like this, and then you can watch me paint. This is so nice, this camera stand that I made here, because I can tilt the camera in any direction that I want to have it. So now you can watch me paint, and this is perfect. And I can talk a little bit. So normally when I work on the big painting and talk at the same time and focus on a subject, that becomes quite difficult, because that's not, painting requires my entire brain, and talking requires my entire brain as well. But working on those things is a little bit easier, because that's just a small sculpture, and I have one glance overview. With the big painting, I would have to step away from it. I have to see the whole picture. I have to know exactly where I have to add something and where I have to do some revisions and so on. And that requires a lot of concentration, actually. Yeah, you probably think, oh, that's just some scribble or some putting paint on it, but that's not what it is. So for me, this is not just free flow art, what I'm doing. It starts out as sort of free flow art. It starts out, the first drawing I made on the canvas with acrylic and a cotton swab, of course. The first drawing is a gut painting. I can even, there are artists that do this. One gut painting takes 10 minutes and then they sell the painting. But that's not how I do it. So after the 10 minutes of doing this, the base scratch, from scratch drawing, the basic belly flowing art, like for my gut instinct, the intuition with the connection to the infinite cosmos, the painting it out, the flow process. That doesn't take very long, and it's a wonderful stage. That's stage number one. But then follows stage number two, where I fill in the colors, and I have to use many layers on those. Like this here, for example, you see this. It requires many layers. It's not just one simple gut instinct drawing on it, but then from that evolves like almost like a car paint job, where I have to apply many layers, and then I become very meticulous in the way it is applied, and and in the evenness of it. And I don't want it to look too much like it is made with a machine, but it still has its little flaws and its little unevennesses, but I want to have it compact and whole and complex and saturated, and also saturated in precision. So as I get older, I become more and more precise with my artwork. So it's kind of like a book, sort of, you know, open it, and there's an artwork in an artwork. It's very nice, but this cannot be permanently closed actually, because as you can see, it sticks, the paint sticks to the paint, and after a while it can even pull the paint up. So this always has to have some kind of glass material in it to, if you want to close it and put it into a shelf, it has to have a cloth material sticking in it. And also I learned my lesson when I was sending artworks to my parents overseas. You know, they do all kinds of things with the mail, also in the name of Homeland Security, you know, to make sure that it is not anthrax or some other dangerous things that are being sent by people. So they actually put it through some kind of radiation and an X-ray machine. Just like at the airport, I had these big shoes on, you know, the big platform shoes on, and that immediately drew their attention, and I had to take the shoes off. I had to do this like so many times because I had to change airplanes. And these big shoes, that was really a bummer. These big shoes had to go through that X-ray machine. Oh my goodness, what a waste of time and trouble, all because of religion and war. It's incredible what people are doing to themselves, the insanity of all of it. But yeah, of course they have to be careful at the airports, but you know, with the mail, I don't know. Maybe they have to do this, but it has damaged my artwork, these things, and these X-ray machines, and it had caused, once I wrapped a real large, I sent my parents this real large painting, almost the size of this plate that I have here underneath. It was like, I don't know, it's like 5 feet by 13, 14 inches, something like this. And then this thick styrofoam board, that real great artwork, the blue god, a dog form in many different pastel colors, I sent to my parents. And because I made a mistake to wrap it into bubble wrap, then in that X-ray machine, or I don't know, somewhere where at some point it got hot during shipment, and the acrylic paint started to stick to the bubble wrap. And then when my parents unwrapped it, they wrapped the bubble wrap up, and with it on it was sticking all the acrylic paint. And the entire painting was ruined. So I cannot possibly wrap my painting into any kind of plastic material anymore. And I can't have that stick together. So I have to have a cloth material in it. And I have to wrap my artwork into packaging materials like paper and cardboard materials, so that the paint does not stick onto the material. It has to be a dry material that doesn't adhere itself to the paint. See, now I'm in this in the revision process where I had to apply certain layers, and then I have to redo the contours for this so that it comes out very evenly. And that requires some focus to do this, because I don't want to make a mistake. I don't want to have to repaint this over and over and over, and sometimes that's what I have to do in order to smooth out the contours, in order to make them even. This requires a lot of focus. And if I had a clinic to help people, because I see so many people in despair in the world. When I talk to people on Facebook and YouTube, I see so many people in despair. And they don't even want to give art a try. They feel like they're too afraid to even try. Because what if they could fail? That's what goes through their minds. But you can't fail in art. You cannot fail. Okay? This is such a misconception. You pick up something that you want to create, and you create it for yourself, not for anyone else. That's the key here. If you do it for yourself, how can you fail? I mean, the word failure, that's a social construction. It doesn't exist. You can make something and you might say to yourself, well, that is uneven. Well, then just practice even contours. Just practice it. You get good at whatever you practice, and then it becomes even, and then it will be very aesthetic and nice, and you'll be very happy about it. Okay, and that feels good. That's an endorphin booster. It's not an addiction cycle thing. It's a real endorphin booster. The good endorphins. So that's what I would implement. If I had a clinic, I would definitely implement art. I won't even call it art therapy, because then the word therapy is sort of takes over and kind of makes art into some kind of just a vehicle, just a means. Art lives for itself. It's not just a therapy. Art is a message that comes to us from the infinite cosmos. When we become still, it can talk to us. Children are still tuned into this. They haven't drowned it out yet with all the neurotic things that society and adults put into them. very tragic to see how children are being indoctrinated with all these terrible neurotic things, religion and dogmatization and dictation and fascism and fashion in a bad way. The doors to infinity are there. Just open them. But you can't open those doors if you are still stuck with social norms and expectations. You have to completely turn away from the social expectations and the normed beauty ideals. I suffered so much from the way my mother tried to indoctrinate me with the social norms. I mean, she was she really didn't know. She really thought because this is what other people like, that must be beautiful. And that shifts, as you can see throughout history, that beauty ideal. Beauty is usually something that is associated with wealth. Right there, it's not beauty. I'm putting lipstick on Seppel. And if there's anyone who has made Seppel into their guru, here I'm someone's guru, you bet, then I'm not going to apologize. Sorry for putting lipstick on Seppel. Not gonna apologize, and I don't want you guys to do that either. Gracie and everyone, don't apologize to for anything, for putting lipstick on anyone. Okay? That made me mad that these people would act like this under Gracie's video when she put lipstick on the Buddha sculpture. These people, I mean, it's like, wow, how insane. We need to recognize this. This is insane that people get mad over something like this. Okay? It's not insane to put lipstick on a figure, whether it's Buddha or Mother Mary or Jesus or Seppel. That's not insane. That's good. It's creative. It's a creative art flow process to put lipstick on any kind of figurine, okay? If people have a problem with that, then they are insane, not you. Okay? They are the ones who are insane. And we all need to recognize that instead of apologizing, instead of holding the other cheek and rolling the red carpet out for them, for their neurotic ways, so that they can become even more neurotic. We want to feed their neurosis, so things can become more and more convoluted with neurosis. It won't stop. It will not stop there. The ego doesn't stop. The ego is never happy with anything. It will continue on and on and on and on. It will create its complaint groups of like-minded complainers. It will continue and on and on and on and on. And they feel unempowered because someone put lipstick on Mother Mary or the Buddha. How dare they put lipstick? It's like, hello, reality check. That's someone's personal sculpture. They can do anything they want with that sculpture. Okay. My goodness. And I told people, if the Buddha was there in human form, and he saw Gracie putting lipstick on the Buddha sculpture, he would smile. He would be happy about it. He would think that's awesome and great. He would be very touched by that. That was a very caring and sweet and touching video, not meant to insult anyone. People feel insulted by ridiculous, just by the most incredibly far-fetched things like this, and then if they make a problem out of where there's no problem at all, actually the opposite, then they are the ones who need to do some therapy, some meditation, some introspection. They're the ones that are not balanced. Never cater to neurosis. Never ever cater to neurosis. Okay. This is very important for people to understand. And in the same sense, and we are, like I said before, we're so immersed in this soup of mass neurosis that we don't even detect the individual fractals of that mass neurosis anymore as being neurotic. When something is so massively presented to us as real, then, or as norm, particularly as children, then we don't question it. Instead, we question ourselves and we feel like, oh, I don't look like that. There must be something wrong with me. Or, oh, I don't paint like this. I paint differently. There must be something wrong with me. No, it's nothing wrong with you. If you paint differently to society, then there is something very healthy about you, okay? So I have to make part 2. I gotta go.